Welcome to This Explainer. Right away, I want you to picture standing under clear, blue skies, the sun just warming your face, and suddenly feeling this overwhelming lightness. It's almost like your inner child has just jolted awake from a 20-year sleep. Well, today we're diving into a breathtaking chapter about a 27-year-old named Aarohi and her profound emotional rebirth at Disneyland Paris. Actually, do me a favor and close your eyes for a second. Think back to that one hero. Maybe it was a cartoon character, maybe a superhero, who made you feel totally safe when you were a kid. Got 'em? Because what we're exploring here is exactly what happens when that childhood dream literally steps out of the screen and physically embraces a heavy adult reality. We're starting with just this beautiful glimpse of pure joy. Picture Aarohi right at the gates of Disneyland Paris. She's wearing these simple, black Mickey ears with a tiny golden crown on top, and she is just shedding happy tears, gripped by an excitement so massive that it physically hurts to smile. But, to really understand why this moment of magic is so incredibly powerful, we have to look at what she's leaving behind. Which brings us to Section 1, Escaping the Graveyard Gray. To truly appreciate the sheer altitude of Aarohi's joy here, we really need to praise how the author grounds this fantasy in a very heavy reality. As her partner Prakar points out, this magical trip happens immediately after their, quote, dark catacomb days. The author brilliantly uses the literal darkness of exploring the Parisian catacombs, the skulls, the bone-chilling cold, the underground graves, as a metaphor for the internal heaviness Aarohi has been carrying around. And this perfectly illustrates the core contrast. Growing up in Meerut, Aarohi was always the good girl, right? The one carrying the family weight, doing the chores, constantly being told that princesses were just for cartoons and dreams should be kept quiet. But contrast that with the Paris reality, this neon, worry-free heartbeat where she can finally just breathe. It's a world of bright colors and a pink and blue castle that honestly looks like birthday cake icing. This transition between these two completely different worlds is the absolute crux of her healing. Moving on to Section 2, Embracing the Childhood Hero. Okay, let's dive into the emotional centerpiece of this whole explainer. After a 40-minute wait in this zigzagging queue, she steps behind a red curtain. And the writing here, it acts as a total masterclass in mentalism. It completely submerges us into this cozy green room. Deep red walls, golden frames holding old posters, a table with magician props. It feels exactly like a cross between a quiet theater backstage and the safest childhood bedroom you could imagine. And then, she just freezes. Right in the middle of the room stands her Furel. And we're not talking about someone waving from a distant parade float, or a flickering image on a tiny TV set back in Meerut where the picture shakes when the power acts up. No. He is as tall as her. He is completely real, and his white-gloved arms are open wide. In an instant, the 27-year-old adult completely vanishes. She runs straight into his embrace. And through her tears, she whispers, "I love you," in Hindi. Just think about that for a second. She's speaking her native tongue to the hero who used to live inside that TV, completely bridging the gap between her vulnerable childhood and her present reality. The prose here just demands to be savored. Listen to this. Here, in this bright little room, a different Aarohi stood, one who had walked through death and still chosen magic. Wow! It perfectly captures the profound vulnerability of a grown woman shedding her darkest traumas right there in the arms of Mickey Mouse. It's not childish at all. It's a massive, profound act of choosing joy over despair. Next up, Section 3, Rewriting the Princess Story. Now, what's really fascinating here is that healing doesn't just mean finding comfort. It means finding empowerment. Aarohi maps out her encounters at the Princess Pavilion not just as quick photo ops, but as deep emotional realizations. She meets Snow White and realizes that, yeah, innocence actually can be real. Moana shows her that ocean waves are nothing compared to the fears she's faced alone. Jasmine reminds her of the queens of the Meerut Bazaar, proving she can fly without anyone's permission. And Cinderella? Cinderella teaches her that even when the clock strikes, you can still build your very own life. So the crucial point is embedded right here in this exquisite quote. She realizes, my clock had struck 27 in a world that always said, Simba, Ludki, be careful, girl. But today, I wanted to rewrite my story, not for a prince, for myself. She isn't just visiting a fantasy anymore. She has literally become Princess Aarohi, ready to conquer the world entirely on her own terms. Let's move to our final section, Section 4, The fairy dust transformation. So, how does a day of rides and parades actually stitch a broken spirit back together? Well, the author lures us into this permanent internal healing through these incredibly sharp sensory details. I mean, you can almost taste it. Sharing warm, crisp churros on Main Street, wearing matching black caps glowing with bright pink neon, watching fireworks explode over the castle like, as they say, Diwali gone wild, and devouring a four-cheese pizza shaped exactly like Mickey Mouse. These are the vivid colors finally painting over that graveyard gray of her past. And this brings us to a single, breathtaking sentence that really summarizes the whole thing. Magic stitched itself quietly over the dark. As Aarohi sits on the train heading back to Paris, that heavy stone from the catacombs is just gone. The skulls, the gray graves, they feel like they belong to a completely different life. The chill of the past is absolutely eclipsed by this fairy dust healing. As we wrap up this explainer, I really urge you to explore the original book to feel the full, magnificent weight of this prose for yourself. It is seriously a masterclass in blending sad realities with pure, joyful fantasy. But before you go, ask yourself, if magic can quietly stitch itself over the darkest parts of our lives, what childhood magic do you need to revisit? What hidden dreams are waiting right now to help you rewrite your own story? Never, ever forget to let your inner child out to play.